Okay, lesson 6.5 is linear inequalities. As you can tell, it's graphing again, but it's inequalities. So instead of equal signs, we're going to be seeing less than, greater than signs, which basically still means you're graphing the line, but besides graphing the line, we have to shade above or below. We have to decide what kind of line to draw. Okay. Now, before we get into the graphing, how do we answer this question? Is -1, 4 a solution of the inequality y is less than 2x plus 5? Thoughts of how we answer that, or how we work that so that we can answer it, I guess is what I want to say. Rylan?
Put -1 for x.
Okay. So in an ordered pair, we know this ordered pair is XY, right? Alphabetical order. We've done this a lot lately. So when I see an X, I'm going to put in -1. When I see a Y, I'm going to put in 4. We're going to work that and decide, is it true or not? If it's true, it's a solution. If it's not true, it's not a solution. So the left is just 4, because y is 4. And then, okay, do some math. 2 times -1.
-2.
-2. And then it becomes -2 plus 5.
Which is
3. -2 plus 5 is 3. So I now have the statement for that symbol there as something to 3. First of all, what symbol is that? Well, we've said them all. It's less than or greater than. I agree. Okay. Remember how I always said for less than? When we talk about less than, it looks like a slouched over L. Does that look like a slouched over L there? So this is a less than symbol. Is 4 less than 3?
No.
No, 4 is not less than 3. So is this a solution?
No.
No, and that's because this is a false statement. Okay. Same idea on the next one. Is 3, 6 a solution of the inequality y less than or equal to 2/3 x plus 4?
I say yes.
What?
I say yes.
You say yes just because if the last one was no, this one's probably yes?
3, no, because 3 plus 4 is not. There's no negatives on the one side. 3 plus 4 is 7, and y is 26.
Okay. Except what does multiplying something by 2/3 do? Okay. We've got to try it, right? He's got his guess back there. Remember, 3 and 6 are my x and y respectively. So I'm going to write this as 6 less than or equal to 2/3 times 3 plus 4. Now, and I see Ryland's reasoning, except what we have to realize is multiplying by a regular fraction is actually going to make that number smaller rather than bigger. So if you're doing 2/3 of something, that's making it less. 2/3 of something is less than a whole. But multiply it, guys. How do we multiply 2/3 times a whole number? It's 2/3, and what's 3 as a fraction? 3 over 1, yes? What can a 3 on top and a 3 on bottom do? They can cross out, can't they? So this really becomes 2 times 1, or in other words, just 2. You still have the plus 4. So my current statement is 6 less than or equal to 2 plus 4. Excuse me. 2 plus 4 is 6.
This is a true statement.
Yeah. So, I mean, it still worked out. That sign is less than or equal to. So we want to know, is 6 less than 6 or is 6 equal to 6? Does it fit one of those two categories? Yeah, because this is 6 equal to 6. So this is a true statement, and since it's a true statement, is this a solution? Yes.
This would fly through these.
What?
Fly.
Oh, we got 2 done. Those are the quick ones, though. Graphs are going to take a little bit. Now, I would like to think, I don't know, I'm hoping you prove me right here, but I would like to think we know at this point how to graph a basic line.
Oh, well, you go up one. Oh, you mark one thing, you go one over two, up one over two.
I feel like he knows something about what he's talking about. Are you guys following him?
And then you can go the other way, down one, over two.
Do you recognize this form, guys?
Yes.
Y equals mx plus b?
No, it's the beginning of the school year.
Okay. Y equals mx plus b. Now, right there, b is my y-intercept. So if b is y-intercept of 1, that means we go up 1 on the y-axis, and we put a dot.
And then you go up one.
And then, what is that 1/2 called? Okay. Slope is what I was looking for, but that works too. That slope, we use the phrase rise over run. So from the point we just made, we are going to rise 1, run 2. So I can go up 1, over 2. Up 1, over 2. Up 1, over 2. Do I have to do it that many times?
No.
No, you don't have to, but I like it.
And then I went down 2 over 1.
And then, yes, you can also try down 1 over 2, but down 1 over 2. Down 1 over 2. Down 1 over 2. Now, pause before you connect your dots.
Oh, I just connected my dots.
Okay, just hold on. You might be okay. You don't have to erase. Just hold on. Follow along. We always want to, when we're dealing with inequalities, we always want to pause before we connect our dots and ask ourselves a question. Do we need to connect our dots with a solid, traditional solid line, or dashed or dotted line? Did you use the word dotted?
Yeah.
I tend to use the word dashed, but does Mrs. Rogers use dotted, I'm guessing?
It's just
Okay. But, so we can either do a normal solid connected line, or do we need to use a dashed or dotted line? So I'm going to write a note over here so we can make a note to ourselves. So do we want a dashed or solid line? That's a question we have to ask ourselves. How do we decide if we want a dashed or solid line?
no, they're greater than or equal to, right?
Okay, we have to look at our sign. We have this less than or equal to. The key is, because we have less than or equal to, anytime you have less than or equal to, or greater than or equal to, when you see that equal to part there,
Dash.
nope. It's going to be a solid line. Okay, which is why I said you didn't have to erase yet, right?
It was gold.
Okay, so, and the key is it's solid because it has the equal to part. You take off the equal to, that's when we're going to do the dashed line. Make sense there? So this is going to be connected as a solid line. Now, we're not done yet.
Oh.
We have one other question to ask ourselves.
Which side is shaded, right?
Yeah, I always use the same words. Do we want to shade above or below the line we just graphed? Those are your options.
Oh, I remember this.
Every time. It's always, do I want to shade above or below?
I forget that.
And it goes back to this sign again. What sign did we have here?
Greater than,
No, that's not greater than. That is a
less than.
less than or equal to. If it was less than or equal to or less than, where are numbers that are less than things?
Yeah.
If you have a choice of above or below, it's going to be below. So anytime you see a less than sign, you're going to go below. So we're going to be shading below on this graph. And that's because it was a less than sign. Greater than, you would shade above. Some of these things coming back to you?
Yeah,
Yes.
a lot.
This already does.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So the next one you just give the negative 1 and then you go up 3.
Okay, so if you got that one, are you ready for the next one then?
Yeah.
Okay. Again, notice this is in the form y equals mx plus b.
To go over that way. What?
No, 3.
No, wait.
3, because you screwed over
Hold on, did we get our y-intercept graphed yet?
negative 1.
And where is a y-intercept of -1?
Down 1 off the X.
Down 1.
So you go down over 3.
So there's my y-intercept. And then 3 is my slope. What is 3 as a fraction?
3 over 1.
3 over 1.
So it would be
Down 1.
down 1, 3.
Nope. You guys are flipping it. It's a rise of 3.
I got it right, but then I thought it was wrong, so I flipped it.
So a rise of 3 is up or down 3.
Oh, okay.
A run of 1, we only run horizontally. We don't run up or down.
So you go up 3.
So we're going to go up 3 over 1. Up 3 over 1. You can also, of course, reverse it and go down 3, left 1.
So is the above or below based on
The sign.
the y-axis? Not the y-axis, the x and y where it intersect.
No,
No, it's the sign greater than equal to.
it's not.
If it's it's slightly curved.
Your line's not ever curved. Your line's not ever curved. It's a
I'm
line.
not meaning curved. It's at this type of.
Okay, well, can you let me get to there?
Okay.
Because I haven't even drawn my line yet. Because I haven't asked myself a certain question. What kind of line am I drawing?
Dashed.
Okay, you guys, at least 2 of you have already asked yourselves, right? It's a dashed line because... Okay, there we go. It's not equal to. So, greater than or less than is a dashed line. So dash, dotted, I don't care what you call it. Broken. Okay? Because it is broken into pieces. Yeah. Dashed or dotted are the traditional ones. And I use them interchangeably. Now, the other thing we have to ask ourselves.
Which side of the
Okay, so your choices are, I always use the same words. Above or below.
Below.
So
I'll be above. Sorry.
over here it was less than signs. So we went below.
greater.
What kind of sign is it over here?
Greater.
A greater than sign. And we'll talk about exactly what this means. But any type of greater than sign is going to be above. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Now, where is above? And here's the deal.
On the left.
We're not talking about, I hesitate to use the words left and right. And here's what I'm going to tell you. When we talk above, it all depends on the angle of the line. Above could be the left, it could be the right, depending on, does it angle this way or does it angle this way? Okay? And so that's where but we're always looking at above. And so then you are looking at where is your y-axis above the line, if that's what you're talking about. So based on my line angling this way, where does my above happen to be this time? And it does happen to be on the left. But I realize it's not always on the left. If this line angled the other way, my above would be on the right.
Is it based on where the
It's based on where your y-axis is above the line. Is that what you're asking?
because on there it's like -1
For the y-intercept?
yeah.
That has nothing to do with it. Okay, the basics are coming back to us then. Okay. We got 2 down below. They're kind of a special case. We just have to remember how to graph these lines.
Yeah, it's easy to go over 1.
Okay. On these bottom 2, the first one is x only. The second one is y only. So here, what does the line look like that's x equals -5? It has to cross the x-axis at -5, because it says x equals -5. So right there, it's going to have an x-intercept of -5. Okay? So an x-intercept of -5 means I am going to go left. Are there any y's in this problem?
Nope.
If there's no y's, guess what? If there's no y's, there's no y-intercept. So if this line crosses the x-axis at -5, and it never touches the y-axis,
It's just up and down.
it has, yeah, it's a vertical line. It has to be parallel to the y-axis. So you can put another dot above or below if you want to give yourself a second dot. But we still have to ask ourselves the same questions before we connect the dots. David says dotted. Do we like his answer? I would like the answer better if I could spell. Okay, dashed or dotted line because it is less than or greater than, not equal to. So draw your line if you haven't already. And then, what is my normal question?
Up and down.
Okay, my question is always above or below. What's the problem with that here?
No above, no below, or above.
We have a vertical line. This is the only time you get to use left and right. If there's any type of angle or horizontal line, you have to say above or below. This is the one and only time you get to say left or right. What kind of sign did we have?
Negative.
No, this sign.
Oh. Plus.
That is a less than sign, right? So would it make sense that less than values are to the left or to the right?
Right.
Where are smaller numbers? Smaller numbers are always to the left. And since they say less than, any type of less than, this is the one time we get to say left. So we're going to shade right back there.
And the next one is just basically the same thing. You go over to the 2 and then you go a dot. So it's basically the same thing.
Hold on. I'm not sure if you're 100% on the right track or not here. Okay, let me ask it is very much the same, but what's different?
It's on the y-axis.
Okay, it says y equals 2 instead of x, right?
So it goes
So what's that mean? On the
Y.
y-axis, we need to go to 2. Yes?
Yeah.
So that means there is a y-intercept of 2. Where's my x-intercept?
There's no.
There's no x in the problem, so that means no x-intercept. If I'm going through y equals 2 and there's no x-intercept, what's my line have to do? Now, if I go up and down, I'm going to cross the x-axis. Yeah, this one's going to go horizontal. Okay? Because we do not want to touch the x-axis because there's no x in the problem.
So this would be,
Are we agreeable to solid? It's a solid line because it's equal to. Good. And above or below? Because it's some type of greater than, we're going to shade above. Notice I went back to above and below, didn't I? I forgot that left-right jump. Okay. Your homework, and you have work time. Lesson. What is this, 6.5? In Math Excel.